Hospital Porter's Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order. Welcome to Hapanwo TV. I'm out in a little park near where I live at the moment, just having a look around. It's a nice, good park because you get a good view over the city. This is the part where you get the dreaming spires shots. I'm not out sky watching tonight though. Even I've taken you on sky watching videos before. Tonight I'm out sky listening. Because no doubt you've heard about these mysterious explosions that keep appearing from time to time. Let me put the camera around so you can see me. Can you see me now? Yeah, it's a bit chilly tonight. The moon's out, but it's really bitterly cold. Yeah, I mean last week, 24th of November, big explosion in Manchester. The thing is, it's very, very odd because people heard a sound of a loud explosion, yet there was no cause. A lot of people phoned the police. There was a lot of talk on social media. The emergency services were alerted. No one knew where it was. I mean, it seemed to centre in somewhere in Salford, which is just west of the city of Manchester. And someone saw a plume of smoke rising up from a place called Hessel Street, but when the emergency services arrived, they found nothing there, nothing wrong, which is very, very odd because an explosion that size, and it was big. In fact, someone I know actually contacted me and said they heard it, and they live 7 miles away. Any explosion that loud should have a very manifest cause, which should be apparent to everybody immediately. So that remained a mystery. I mean, I did ask people to, because I live a long way from Manchester, I couldn't get there, but I did ask anyone I knew who lived in the local area to go and check it out. I don't know if anyone did, but there's still no answers. Basically the thought was, what could it be? I thought that it might possibly be a Roswell. It might actually be a crashed UFO. Seriously, it's a possibility. So, in which case, you'd find a large area of Salford sealed off, and lots of police roadblocks, lots of guys in military uniform hanging around, things like that. It could be something else. It could be an aircraft crash or an industrial accident of some kind. In which case, why not tell people? Why was it not in the news? The answer could be because it was a particularly embarrassing kind of accident or crash, which the manufacturers or operators of that aircraft or that wherever the accident happened might want to cover it up. They've done this before, so that's another possibility. It wasn't a meteor, all right. It was not a meteor. Some people said, "Oh, it's like that Chelyabinsk meteor that came down over Russia last year." No, because you'd be able to see it. It would make a very bright light as well as a noise. So there's people hanging around in this park. Some of them, some look a bit dodgy. So it wasn't that. This is very, very odd because we had, if you remember, we had that big light in Russia, in Russia, in the middle of Russia last week, about the same time as the Manchester explosion. Somebody recorded a big bright light without any sound, the exact opposite. They were driving along in their car, and there was a lot of speculation about that. Was it a nuke test? Was it a meteor like Chelyabinsk again? No, because those things make a lot of noise. A nuclear bomb, a meteor coming down, a very loud explosion, be heard from a long way away. It wasn't that. So, that was it, I thought. But then, believe it or not, on just 5 days later, on the 29th of November, that's just last Saturday, at 3 AM in the morning, there was another explosion at Catterick Garrison, which is in Richmondshire in Yorkshire. This is one of the largest military complexes in Britain. Huge military base. Again, members of the public alerted the emergency services, or might have done. Richard D. Hall thinks maybe they didn't, and there's something more going on than this. But anyway, again, The army guard posts were put on alert, the emergency services were called, the police sealed off the A1 road, which runs right, well, it's the principal artery that runs through North Yorkshire, caused a lot of traffic jams. Some people missed their football matches, I remember, and it remained shut until the following evening. But basically, yeah, the police carried out a thorough search. No sign of anything, just no sign of anything particularly. Just some they found some old detonators from the army. But this was not the cause of the crash, so very, very odd. Again, could it have been a Roswell type of event and a UFO crashing? That's the reason why they might not want to tell people about it. An accident of some kind again, air crash, explosion, maybe something related to fracking, because I've heard that they're doing test fracking in that area, and there's been some sinkholes, a lot of sinkholes. Fracking companies are notorious for their dishonesty. Could be something like that. Or the question is, though, could these incidents be connected? The two incidents be connected? It seems awfully coincidental the two happened so close to each other. One in Manchester, then one in this big one. There's one in Manchester, then this one in Catterick, about 100 odd miles away in North Yorkshire, or however far it is. I don't know. There's all kinds of theories. I mean, it could be also some kind of psyop, a test the government are making to see how we, the people, react to loud bangs. This is a possibility. You see, what's that up there? Oh, it's an aircraft. I always keep my eye out for UFOs. What's that up there? That's the moon. No. You see, I think something's brewing. I can feel it in the air. Something is going to happen. I get that feeling I got during the run-up to the 2012 Olympics. Yeah, everyone was expecting something to happen. I mean, of course, you get predictions of disasters, various false flag events, false flag attacks, various other things. The aliens are landing, etc. The pound's collapsing. All the time you get these predictions. And of course, most of them are a load of rubbish, and you go yawn because it's another prediction of doomsday. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, if doomsday comes, then someone's bound to have predicted it by law of chance alone, and no doubt they'll pat themselves on the back for being so clever. But if they're still alive. Now, I don't normally get involved in these predictions. I don't normally take any notice of them. I don't normally take them seriously. But unless I think there's good reason to, and I think in this case there is. Because, like I said, we are in that period where I feel we're leading up to something. And it's not just a thing. It's not just something I sense in my little finger. I think there's reason to think that. Firstly, the government in Britain at the moment seem to be obsessed with it. This at the moment, they're going on about terrorism all the time, about the NSA, about the GCHQ and the wiretapping, and internet censorship and social media being responsible for A, B and C terrorist atrocities. The Lee Rigby things come back into the news again. The Lee Rigby killers, or apparent killers, the patsies as I think they are appealing against their sentence. Appeals been turned down. There's talk about how, oh well, these people have been using social media, and social media don't police, we need more control over social media. And at the same time, there's all talk about immigration. Cameron's been caught out because he hasn't curbed immigration enough, etc, etc. I mean, my own view is, well, I mean, if the thing about immigration is, you must not get angry with the immigrants themselves. That's very important, because it means taking the bait. Don't blame them personally, because they're only doing what we would do in their shoes. You have to blame the system behind it all, and the fact that, I've said this before, the fact that the government want us to take the bait, so we'll demand this new Iron Curtain I've spoken about before to stop immigration, where basically we have a police state with a massive tight controls to keep immigrants out and things like that. And the solution to immigration is to improve the quality of life around the world, which it would be easy to do. Don't let anyone tell you it's not. Simply by reforms in economics and social systems, not to mention new technology that could free people in the third world from poverty. It's that simple. So that's why I think there's a sense of something's coming, something's going to happen. Obama's in trouble over immigration as well. There's also Steve Bassett. Now, Steve Bassett, I interviewed Steve Bassett on the Hapanwo show. Now, if you look at my last video I made, the UFO disclosure, I'm going to make a follow-up video to that, about the UFO disclosure in 2015. But the background will be there. I'll put a link in the description box to that video so you can get a bit of background to what I'm talking about. But basically, I think did I mention in the video that? Did I mention in that video that I thought Steve said something that chilled me, made my skin crawl, made me think they might pull something off, some terrorist event off, because it's just in order to stop disclosure. I think I did, didn't I? I think I mentioned it in that video. So go to the video linked in the description box, UFO disclosure 2015, statement or question, so that to give you a bit of background on that, and whether there's some connection here with these explosions we've heard. I don't know. I mean, there was a guy who wrote in Nexus, I think sometime last year. I'll see if I can dig out the actual copy at home. I've given a few of them away, but a man called Thomas Olaf Rabi, a German researcher. I hope I pronounced his Olaf Thomas Rabi. I hope I pronounced his name properly. But he was talking about how some mysterious explosions have been breaking out, and some more have broken out apart from the two I've told you about, and I'll be telling you, I'll go into more details later. But Olaf Thomas Rabi just said that mysterious explosions are breaking out basically because of the Large Hadron Collider. What he's discovered, or what his research seems to lead to, whether it's right or not or wrong, whether it's right or wrong, what Rabi is claiming is that the Large Hadron Collider and the activities of the Large Hadron Collider, these high energy protons, they're crashing together to produce energy. And Professor Brian Cox thinks it's so wonderful. You know, that they're actually causing fluctuations in space-time at the quantum level, which is actually causing explosions to appear in other places in time and space. And Rabi thinks he's calculated the mechanism by how to work out where these explosions are going to appear and when. These are huge explosions. They're just quantum caused explosions, but they can be as powerful as 1 megaton, which is bigger than most nuclear weapons. And they just appear out of nowhere. And if they appear, well, they can do a lot of damage, possibly. So that's Arabi's research. I'll see if I can find the Nexus actually and show you it, the actual copy of Nexus. Anyway, maybe there's even more going on here. Maybe this is a run-up to some kind of. Maybe if this is aliens crashing, maybe it's aircraft. It seems unlikely 2 Roswells would come down at the same time. It seems unlikely 2 aircraft would come down within a week of each other. It seems a coincidence. Seems unlikely if it's an industrial accident would happen at the same time. So what is it? Maybe there's more going on. Well, let's have a look, shall we? I've spotted something very interesting in the good old Daily Flail. Again. Come with me. Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The Daily Mail, once again. Let's come back to this. Were mysterious bangs heard all over Britain and New York caused by the US stealth jet? That's an interesting thing. This is an interesting article to read. Every so often it comes out with the word conspiracy theorist is used 3 or 4 times in it. It's very interesting. The MOD said no aircraft scrambled. Yes, well, they would say that. Met Office said unusual weather not the cause. No, well, that's the thing. I've never said it was weather. Now, the Ministry of Defence, of course, don't necessarily tell us what happens. They will deny certain information when it suits them, of course. But what this article is about is what the people they call conspiracy theorists, which includes me and most of the people watching this video, which is that basically the Americans have a spy plane called Aurora, and that's what's causing this noise. Now this is very, very interesting because the Americans have developed several secret spy stealth aircraft ever since the 1950s, which were completely secret for many, many years during their operation. For instance, the U-2 spy plane flew for a number of years before, in complete secrecy, before basically one of them was shot down over the Soviet Union, and there was a big scandal and it became public. But for many, many years, no one knew the U-2 existed. It flew from Area 51 and basically it was not recognised. It was an unacknowledged. It was a USAP, unacknowledged special access project from the black budget of the U.S. Defence Department. Now, many replacements for the U-2 have come about. For instance, the SR-71 Blackbird, which is a really futuristic-looking aircraft if you see it. However, it's been flying since the 1960s. And again, for many, many years, no one knew about it. It was highly classified. No one knew what it was. Now, what they're saying now is this actually could be Aurora. What we're hearing now is Aurora. Now, Aurora is basically the next generation of spy plane after the SR-71. And it's, again, because these things tend to be secret, it's quite likely that Aurora is being flown today in total secrecy. Probably from Area 51. And no one knows about it, and maybe in a few years it'll be declassified and we know about it, probably when there's already a replacement on the line. But Aurora is said to be a very, very unusual aircraft. Some people say it's a drone, it has no pilot, it's flying from the ground. It's extremely fast, it's hypersonic, which means it can basically fly all the way around the world in 3 hours. It flies exceptionally high, it's close to the edge of space, and it uses an unusual engine, a pulse detonation engine. That is the theory. Now there's a guy called Nick Cook who made a film called $1 Billion Secret, which is well worth watching. It's on YouTube, where he talks about the Aurora, and he tries to connect it into UFOs, which I think is a mistake. I don't think some people have tried to say that UFOs basically are the Aurora, and various government plans to keep the Aurora secret are basically what UFO culture is. I don't agree with that, and there's a lot of complicated reasons why I don't, but I will endeavour to explain over time in the course of these films. I might have mentioned this in several previous films as well, but all this will become clear, and I've written about this on the Hapanmo blog, so you can find it if you use the search box. Basically, what they're saying is that these noises we might have heard over Manchester, over Catterick, and most recently over New York. Look at this. Look at this. Here we go. Oh, Croydon and Glasgow too. String of bangs. At the same time, a loud boom was reported by a number of people in upstate New York across Buffalo, Cheektowaga, and Clarence, more than 3,000 miles away at the same time. Oh, this is really, really strange. People describe it as loud enough to shake their homes and rattle windows. So this is really strange. I mean, we had something similar to this last year in Arizona and other places. There was loud explosions, bangs, seeming to come from nowhere. And I mean, these were explosions so loud that people thought they were actually explosions on the ground. And they sent the emergency services attended to try and find out what went on. So what they're basically saying is these are sonic booms from aircraft, or some noise related to the unusual propulsion system of these aircraft, these pulse detonation jets, whatever they are, which are completely different to normal jet aircraft engines. In that case, it could well be. It could be that's what we're experiencing, and this is what's been happening in Britain, and this is what's been happening in New York. Now, there's some rumours that the Aurora stealth aircraft was actually based at Machrihanish base in Scotland, at the airbase. It's possible. It's possible that's the case. But if that is actually what's going on, Why is Aurora deploying so much all of a sudden? Why is it risking detection over populated areas by making so much noise when normally it doesn't? Normally, presumably, it runs completely undetected. I mean, we don't normally get this number of loud booms. What's going on? Is it operating so much now because it's needed? Because of something related to UFOs? Or something related to terrorism, whether real or false flag? Probably false flag. Almost certainly false flag. That's the question. I think that's we've got to look into now. And I think the future for this realm of inquiry is to just gather more data. I mean, follow what I'm saying, follow what I do on the blog and in these films. And also other people like Richard D. Hall, who's looking into this. He's trying to make contact with the people who actually called the police that day in Catterick. In fact, if you lived around anywhere in the sort of Richmondshire area and you heard those explosions last Saturday morning in the early hours, then please do contact Richard at richplanet.net because he wants to talk to you. So we'll just have to see what happens now, but again, as is often the case, there are lots of questions and no real answers. But it's only by asking the questions we find the answers. All being said, I think I still stand by what I said. I think this is all more reason to think that something is going on. Something, we're building up to something. There's this pre-Olympic 2012 Olympics feeling. And the truth of the matter is, I mean, if the Illuminati, powers that be, cathedral, whatever you choose to call them, if they are planning some kind of massive false flag attack, maybe something low-key and sort of low-budget, quote-unquote, you know, like the killing of Lee Rigby, which is quite sort of low-level compared to previous attacks, or something big, some major catastrophe like 9/11 or even worse, then basically what would stop them would be lots and lots of people like me coming out and talking about it. And Ian R. Crane says, and I think he's probably right, that the reason the amount of people talking about what they were expecting to happen at the Olympics in 2012, or the, you know, we even call them the Apocalyptics. It was our nickname in our community for them. That's what stopped them. That made them abort the mission. Because there's one thing that will make someone not carrying out a false flag, and that is if too many people are expecting it to happen. Therefore, the official story won't work, because people will be sitting back thinking, "Hang on a minute, we said this would happen, and it's happened." See what I mean? So keep talking about it. Keep telling everyone. Show them this movie. Get the word out, and hopefully we can put a stop to this. Thanks for watching Hapanwo TV. Hospital Porters, Pride and Dignity, Stop the New World Order.